Welcome to today's video. We are going to discuss our most anticipated books of the year. There are other books that have come out this year that I was very excited about reading, have already gone ahead and read them, which is why they're not on the list. So these are the top 10 of my anticipated reads that I haven't read. We're going to talk about 10 of them, and I already own 5 of them. So I don't know if I'll end up doing a vlog where I read the ones that I have this half, and then once all of them are released, read the other half to do a 2-part, or if I'm just going to talk about them or anything like that. One of the first ones that I am excited about is called The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. It is the third in the series. I've read the first one. I have the second one. Haven't read it. That was one of my most anticipated from last year that I still have not read. That one I'm really excited about. When I was first reading that book, it was a 4 for me. But it just was one of those, it stuck in my head. I couldn't stop thinking about. Talked about, ended up becoming a 5-star, one of my favorites of the year in 2020. That was a fantastic book. And so I'm excited to continue this series. I really just need to read the other one, but I'm thinking if that one comes out, maybe I'll read them together. Is A School for Good Mothers by Yasmin Chan. Essentially, you can get taken from your town by like a Big Brother kind of government agency if they question your ability to be a mother, and kind of put you in a situation where you're getting watched constantly and you get like dings or marks. Another one is A Flicker in the Dark. This first got on my radar because of Book of the Month. Then I recently picked it up. I love mystery thriller. After I picked it up and saw it on Book of the Month and kind of got really excited for it, I have heard this is kind of a letdown, so it's kind of taken me back, or maybe not quite as excited, which is why I haven't quite jumped into it. This is kind of a copycat serial killer story, and I love that kind of stuff, so I'm hoping that this fits me. And not The Witch You Wed by April Asher. It's a romance. I'm hoping it's kind of sweet, maybe a little rom-comedy, lots of witchy stuff. I love witch stuff. I love it in current day, almost like it could be real. I love that stuff. So I'm hoping this is kind of lighthearted, fun, cover's beautiful. What I don't have, Weather Girl. It's another romance, a weather couple. And the cover's cute. Again, I'm big on going through the list, and if a cover catches my eyes, I click on it and open it. So that's why I'm constantly saying like, oh, I like the cover drew me in. I am very big into the covers are what gets me, and sometimes I read a book, maybe the premise isn't perfect, but that cover is just stunning. And so I read it. From Bad to Cursed by Lana Harper. It's the second in, I'm not sure what the series is called, but it's the second for Payback's a Witch, which I talked about in my quarterly stats, which was a 5-star. That was everything I wanted from a magical romance book. I loved that book. I'm still excited to think about it. It's still one I want to reread again. So I'm excited to see the second one. Very excited about that one. Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I bought this from Book Depository because the cover that I could get at my bookstore was not this one, and I just think this is the coolest cover ever. It's kind of a fantasy horror maybe, or maybe just a horror, but it's about a woman whose wife comes back from a deep sea mission and everything's not quite the same, and kind of navigating that. Seems a little bit dark, like it's gonna be pretty dark and intense, and that excites me. The Bright Side Running Club by Josie Lloyd. I love running, and that's what kind of got me on this. I was part of a running club. I don't participate a lot just because it doesn't really fit my schedule right now. I still run just individually on my own or with my father. My father's also part of that running club. I love that camaraderie of like your running club. A woman receives breast cancer diagnosis, kind of her friendship group, and that whole experience. Seems like it could be very sad, but also kind of uplifting and fun. And I think this one looks really cute. Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I want to read Velvet Was the Night, is one I have of hers. I've read Mexican Gothic. That was one of my favorites of, I believe it was 2020. I loved that. It was different than what I expected, but it was a good different than what I expected. And so I'm excited to see what else she has. And to read Velvet Was the Night, and hopefully that will excite me even more. Surviving Washington by Robert Griffin III. This is one I saw someone reference on a documentary, just essentially about this football player's life, and it just seems really fascinating. I'm not a huge like football fan or anything. My husband loves sports and I don't mind watching it, but anyways, that one just seemed very intriguing and it was sold to me really well, and I instantly went, put it on my to be read, and I still am very excited about that. House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. One of my favorite books. Final Girls, I'll say it again, I'll say it 1,000 more times. The one I haven't read by him is Last Time I Lied. I have it and I need to get it read. They're all 4 to 5 stars. Recently just read Survive the Night. But that one, I enjoyed it. I love the idea of like seeing the world through a movie. Again, that one we've talked about my quarterly stats or April wrap up. And that one's really good. Excited about that one. Editing me here, I never actually say what The House Across the Lake is about, but it's about a woman who escapes to her lake house and is kind of creeping on her neighbors, and then one of the neighbors goes missing, and it's her hunt to solve what happened to her. Hide by Kirsten White, which is another game horror. It's like hide and seek in this old carousel, and I think they win money. I don't know if people die if you don't, or you just, I don't know, but the cover's beautiful. The premise is good and spooky, and the cover makes it look pretty eerie. It kind of gives me those Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. Kind of gives me those vibes, so I'm kind of hoping it's kind of a horror scare type of book. Let me know if you guys have any books that you are very excited about, or if you read these, what you think of these, or anything like that. See you later.